Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to another video from the Thrift Store Prepper. In this one we're going to try and keep it a little bit short and sweet, and it's just a little weekly update on the pantry and the build and what's been going on. And if you have or haven't watched the recent videos that I've uploaded, we did another little Scentsy 20 top up at the No Frills, and we had a little bonus $10 top up from the Dollarama, and I also did a little bit of repackaging of bulky items. So what we're going to do today is I'm just going to show you that items that I've added and how the pantry has grown since last week in only a short time, and we're going to throw a few of these items into one of our storage containers. So without further ado, we're going on location. So in these 3 bags here are some instant mashed potatoes. Now I'm sure there is a way of putting the video in the video and have you press the video and then it takes you to that video, but I have no clue how to do that or any real intention how to, so I may or may not put a link in the description, but if you follow in the channel you should be able to find it yourself. You're not idiots after all. My viewers are pretty smart and clued up. So here you go. In this container is purely made of things that I've repackaged, and I've repackaged it using only items that I've recycled, be it my weed baggies or trail mix or anything that comes in a Ziploc bag. This kind of durable I've been adding in here. So the other items we have is some crispy onions and some chicken soup base. So as you can see, they actually fit beautifully in the tub, and if I put that there for a second, you can't really see what's going on, but I can seal up that tub. So there you go, we've got that tub on top. Now I've got my little collection of baggies going on there, and a can opener, some cans and stuff, so that's a little bit messy. I'm gonna have to look at some alternative. It's an emergency zigzag paper. Don't ask why. I'm sure you get the drift, and you've seen this before. There, the tub's on the side, but that's not what we're looking at now. If you remember, last week we had an empty drawer. I think that may have been 2 weeks ago, and we only had a single ramen in it, and the single ramen is now our lucky ramen. And if you don't know why, that was the first ramen noodle, or part of the first ramen noodle package that I started out with before the Thrift Store Prepper. So that's a little bit sentimental. So what was once empty is now full of ramen. So we've got, I think, 15 ramen there, and bar of chocolate, and that's fancy European chocolate that I got from the convenience store for $1.99. That's a little treat for me later, and if anyone's ever had Milka Swiss Alpine milk, it's pretty delicious. Certainly gives Hershey's a kick in the balls. So there you go, we got that one. It's nice and full of ramen, and don't forget we also have in one of these containers about 40 or 50 ramen noodles that we crushed up and repackaged into trail mix packages. So this is another one that's going to be a little bit interesting. I got an eating and storage container, my little water filter there. If we just take that out, this again was pretty empty. The only thing I had in here were a couple of cans of jars of peanut butter, and at the back there is my jelly, and this random can of coconut milk, which I think I bought for a recipe and then forgot about, but that's in there. We can utilize it one way or another if I can squeeze it in. That's what she said. So there we go. That's a pretty stocked drawer, and all of these items are what I consider sensible items. They provide lots of nutrients and vitamins and fiber and proteins. I'm not going to get it out because it's pretty random, but that's mostly beans and chickpeas in there, along with my peanut butter, jellies, and some salsas, and a couple of seasonings, so you can see from the front there. Moving down to the next one, this again was had our Boyardee in last week in some cans of potatoes. So all that we've really done there is added another couple of 4 cans of potatoes. I've tucked my Aunt Jemima's in there because I don't know how or where else to put it, and my Cheese Whiz. So you can see again there we've got a good amount of cans. There's 12 different cans in there. We've got the raviolis and our whole white potatoes. And finally, you should have seen this one before, so no real need to explanation. That one's full, and probably what we will be doing in the next top-ups and hauls, we'll be looking at things that we can put on top to utilize that little bit of space that we have there on top of the cans. So the luncheon meat particularly is a good item that we can utilize in there, and that could also be said for this one. But at the moment I'm using that just to store that little container there. That's kind of a handy thing to have, and we got my little water filter. So as I said, a little short and sweet one just to see how the pantry's looking. And if I step back here, you can kind of see the space that it takes up. So not the greatest space, and if anybody is a little bit interested, this is a little walking tour of my room. Behind me here is some books and stuff, and none of this is mine. This was all here when I moved in. There's my tray from the bean fiesta stew. I did actually eat it, and it was very, very good. And there's some trash I need to take out of my coffee cup, my bed, and my TV. So that's about all the space that I'm working with. I do have all this area here as well if I needed to, just to let you know. And Gibson Girl, there you go, I do have all this to utilize. Now I could actually use those shelves, but I don't know, it kind of makes it open, and for my purposes I think this is a far more compact and streamlined option than putting things on shelves or in cupboards. And as I said, it's pretty portable. I can just load that up if I need to and take it wherever I go. So there you go. That's a little weekly update on the improvements and the additions to the pantry. I'm almost certain no one's going to really be liking this. There's nothing to be learned or gained from it. Just, I don't know, it's showing you what I got. And I guess maybe I got a little bit of pride in my pantry, and I've been taking it not necessarily more seriously, but a little bit more seriously than the early days when it was just a little bit of grab and go, toss it in. So, I'm trying to utilize my space. I'm trying to put things in a space that actually have a lot of nutritional value rather than empty carbs or empty calories. Trying to stay away from things like the potato chips and candy bars, granola bars, trail mix, because as much as they are very, very good items to have in your pepper pantry, they are also very hard to resist. And especially if you're someone who does smoke marijuana, occasionally you do get something called the munchies, and when you're sitting looking at a basket full of chocolate bars and nuts and other kind of junk food items, it's pretty easy to take a week's worth of emergency prep out in a couple of hours. So sticking clear of those things and trying to put things in there that are going to have a little bit of shelf life and aren't going to be scoffed up in a haze of marijuana and THC consumption. So that being said, I don't think I said there you go many times in this video. So if you did listen to the last one and decided to play a drinking game, you're probably going to be a little bit sober at the end of this video. So sorry about that. We live and learn in this trial and error, and something I have noticed is the amount of times I say, there you go, in my videos. So you can have that one as a little bonus just to make sure you're not that sober by the time it ends. And if you have watched this long and don't want to cut your wrists or gouge your eyes out or think, my God, I really need a change in direction of my life if this is what I'm watching, thanks for your persistence. Thanks for watching. As always, this has been a shit video production for the Thrift Store Prepper. And, if you want to leave a comment in the section below, that would be appreciated. So, till next time, hang in there, keep it thrifty, and take it easy.